Hello everyone, a warm welcome to all my viewers and students of Tadvidya Sambhashya Parishad. From last two sessions, we are discussing about and we have learned about practical aspects of Yoni Vyapat. If anyone have missed those sessions, you can check it on Tadvidya Sambhashya Facebook page, and also we have uploaded our videos in the YouTube. Please check the links. Myself, Dr. Ratna, working as Assistant Professor in Hillside Ayurveda Medical College, Bangalore, in Department of Prasuti and Stri Roga. Today we'll continue with the same topic, that is some remaining topics of Yoni Vyapat. In that, displaced uterus, it is one of important topic as theoretical part. Under this heading, mainly there are 4 Yoni Vyapats have been explained. Those are Mahayoni, Prasramsini Yoni Vyapat, and Falini or Andini Yoni Vyapat, and lastly Antharmukhi Yoni Vyapat. Mahayoni, coming to the first topic, that is Mahayoni Vyapat. Acharya Charaka explained Mahayoni under Vataja Yoni Vyapat, and Acharya Sushruta explained under Sanipataja Yoni Vyapat. First, when you if in exams they have asked questions about for either for 5 marks or either for 2 marks, you have to first write about classification of Yoni Vyapats according to different acharyas. That means consider if it is Mahayoni Vyapat. Mahayoni Vyapat, according to Charaka, it is explained under Vataja, and according to Sushruta, it is explained under Sanipataja Yoni Vyapat. And in detail, in Uttaratantra of Sushruta Samhita, Acharya Sushruta quotes that Vivrita Ati Mahayonihi. Vivrita Ati Mahayonihi means Mahayoni is a clinical condition where are having descended muscular protuberance or descending of pelvic organs, and it is associated with relaxed perineum. So next, Acharya Charaka clarifies this by explaining Nidana and Samprapti. He has explained Vishamam Dukkha Shayayam Maitanat Kupito Anilaha. So here the main etological factor or Nidana behind Mahayoni is Vishamam Dukkha Shayayam. Here Vishamam Dukkha Shayayam means sleeping or lying on the uneven bed or troublesome bed, or practicing intercourse on uneven bed. This particular cause will leads to some physical pressure due to mechanical stress and discomforts, and it creates some disturbances in the supporting structure of the pelvic viscera. Here the supporting structure are the muscles and ligaments which is attached to the uterus and the cervix. So because of this Nidana, it leads to discomforts or disturbances in the supporting structure, and it leads to aggravation of Vata dosha, and also it causes Vishtambana in the Garbhashaya and Yoni Pradesha. So as I said, here the main involved dosha is Vata, and dosha involved is Mamsa, and it is takes Stanasantraya in the Yoni Pradesha, and involved Ashaya is Garbhashaya. And it shows the following lakshanas, like Charaka further in the quotation he explains Asamvrita Mukhi Sa Arti, Asamvrita Mukha of the Yoni Pradesha. Asamvrita Mukha, Asamvrita is nothing but Vivrita, that is we can take it as a distended vagina or relaxed perineum. Asamvrita Mukha Yoni means distended vagina or relaxed perineum. Next, Mamsotpanna Mahayonihi. Mamsotpanna means it is one of the important cardinal feature in the prolapse of the uterus, that is something coming out of the vagina or mass per vagina. This is one of the important symptom in Mahayoni Lakshana. And next, he has also explained about Ruksha Fena Asra Vahini. Ruksha Fena Asra Vahini, that is dry, frothy and blood-stained discharge from the vagina. And next, Parva Vangshna Shulini and Arthi, that is pain in joints, that mainly here joints, we should consider the lumbar pain or sacral pain, that is lower backache, and also pain in the groin region, that is Parva Vangshna Shulini and Arthi, that is severe pain in the back region and also lower abdominal region and in groin region. So these are all some lakshanas which are explained under Mahayoni. And considering all these clinical features, this Mahayoni can be correlated with third degree uterine prolapse along with relaxed perineum. So the Mahayoni Vyapat can be correlated with third degree uterine prolapse and associated with relaxed perineum. Next, coming to Chikitsa part, the Chikitsa of Mahayoni Vyapat is Acharya Charakas explain Yachak Vata Vikaranam Karmoktam Tacha Karyat. That means in any kind of Vataja Yoni Vyapats, all the measures which have been taken for which have been specifying the Vata, all those measures should be adopted. So in this Mahayoni also Vata Vikara Karma, that means whatever the treatment aspects which has been told under Vataja Samanya Chikitsa of Vataja Yoni Vyapat, and also some Vishishta Chikitsa which have been explained under Mahayoni should be adopted, and this should be done in a three procedure. It is Purva Karma, Pradhana Karma and Paschat Karma. Here Purva Karma, as a Purva Karma we should adopt Snehana and Svedana Karma. Snehana Karma both Abhyantara and Bahya, that is internal Sneha and external Sneha. For Abhyantara Sneha Pana, we should give Trivrut Sneha, that is mixture of three Sneha, that is Gruta, Taila, Vasa, or Gruta, Taila, Majja, that is Trivrut Sneha for Panartha, that is for Abhyantara Snehartha. And for Bahya Snehartha, we can use Falasarpi or either Balataila and also Falasarpi, Balataila and some other Vadharadravya, and very importantly in Yoni Brahmsha, that is in any kind of secondary prolapse or tertiary third prolapse, we should use we can use Changeryadi Gruta. Changeryadi Gruta, it's a reference from in Sushruta Samhita Guda Brahmsha Chikitsa Adhyaya. So in Guda Brahmsha, Sushruta has mentioned to use Changeryadi Gruta. So in this case of Yoni Brahmsha also we can use Changeryadi Gruta clinically. And next, as I said, for external purpose, for external Snehanartha, you can use Changeryadi Gruta, that is as to use like a Yoni Pichu or Uttar Basti, we can use all these Snehas. So when we administer Sneha internally, it reaches every element of the body, and also it useful or it increases the strengthens the ligaments. जो भी ligaments and muscles uterus के साथ attach हुआ रहता है, it increases the strength of the ligaments, and also it increases the tonicity of the uterine muscles. So this is the benefit of internal administration of Sneha in the case of Mahayoni or in the case of Prasramsini Yoni Vyapat. And if we administer Sneha externally, it helpful for the it will reduce the stiffness in the Yoni and Garbhashaya Pradesha. So as I said, Vishtambana of Yoni and Garbhashaya is one of the Lakshana in Mahayoni Vyapat, and this Bahya Sneha, the external administration of Sneha, which helpful to reduce this stiffness in the vagina and the uterus. And next, as a Purva Karma, Svedana Karma, the second is Svedana Karma. Svedana Karma like Drava Sveda or Bashpa Sveda or Upanaha Sveda can be adopted here. So here we can use any kind of Vadahara Dravyas like Dashamula or Rasna or bala like thing. And with Svedana karma, it is helpful to reduce the pain, and also it increases the laxity in the vaginal region. And next, the Pradhana karma. In Pradhana karma, they have mentioned Snigdam Svinnam Sthape Paschat. That means after doing Snehana and Svedana karma, we have to do Dustitam Sthapaya. That means Dustitam means we are explaining under displaced uterus. That means whenever the uterus is displaced from its normal position, and we have to reposition it to its normal position. So Dustitam Stapayat means repositioning the uterus to its normal place. So after performing Snehana and Svedana karma as a Purva karma, in Pradhana karma, we have to replace we have to reposition the uterus to its normal position with the hand, with the sterile, by using sterile gloves, and also with the lubricated hand. Afterwards, after repositioning the uterus, we have to insert, or we have to do Veshavara Pinda Dharana. Veshavara Pinda Dharana, which is made up of, or it is a kind of paste, that is, it is a kind of Yoni Kalka Dharana, which is made out of Shunti, Maricha, Pipali Moola, Dadima, Dhanyaka, etc. Dravyas. So after application of this Veshavara Pinda, next you have to apply Gofana Bandha. Gofana Bandha means it is a T-shaped bandage. T-shaped bandage hota hai. So many kinds of bandhana types I explained Sushruta in bandhana prakarana, like Stagika Bandha, Mutoli, Pratoli, all those things. So in that, Gofana Bandha is one of the type of bandhana. So Gofana Bandha means T-shaped bandage. It looks like a T shape. So after administration of, or after application of this Veshavara Pinda Dharana, and we have to apply T-shaped bandage or Gofana Bandha. This applies, or this exerts pressure on this prolapsed organ, and also it prevents the further descent. So जो भी displaced organ रहता है, उसको reposition करने के बाद, वो योनि कल का धारणा करने के बाद टी शेप्ड बैंडेज को अप्लाई करना है. सो विद दिस द डिस्प्लेस्ड ऑर्गन विल place it in a normal position, and also it prevents the further descent. So this is about the Pradhana karma of in the Mahayoni Vyapat. And next, Paschat karma. As a Paschat karma, we can adopt Samanya Chikitsa of Yoni Vyapat, and also any other Vatahara measures we can adopt it here. Samanya Chikitsa of Yoni Vyapat. So according to any other symptoms of the patient, we have to administer here. That means if at all they are suffering from that is pain, that is lower backache, then we can give Yoga Rajagula, all those things. Or if they are suffering from any kind of vaginal discharge, irritation, or in that case we can give Pushanaga Churna. So like according to the condition of the patient, we have to administer the drugs or any yogas. So next, move on to another condition, that is Prasramsini Yoni Vyapat. Prasramsini Yoni Vyapat, it is explained by Acharya Sushruta under Pittaja Yoni Vyapat. Only Acharya Sushruta has explained about Prasramsini Yoni Vyapat, and he considered under Pittaja Yoni Vyapat. Prasramsini Syandate tu Kshobita du Prasushchayaha. This is the quotation given by Acharya Sushruta in Uttara Tantra. Prasramsini Syandate tu Kshobita du Prasushchayaha. Prasramsini, it is a clinical condition where displacement of reproductive organs has been occurred. So Syandana, here Syandate means displaced or prolapsed organs, and Kshobita means Kshobita or Kshobana refers to irritation. So here irritation can be taken as it leads to, this displaced uterus can lead to irritation in the form of irritated vaginal discharges or profuse vaginal discharges, and also it can cause irritated in the form of difficulty during coital act, that is what we call as dyspareunia. So this is one of the lakshana in Prasramsini Yoni Vyapat, and also it leads to du prasushcha. Du refers to difficulty. Du prasushcha means difficulty during labor. That means जो भी प्रसवा के टाइम में ये डिफिकल्टी करता है, इफ एट ऑल इफ लेडी इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम दिस काइंड ऑफ योनि व्यापत. So these are lakshana of Prasramsini Yoni Vyapat. And as it explained under Pittaja Yoni Vyapat, it also shows some Pittaja lakshanas like Daha, Osha, Chosha, all those things. Both the Sarvadaihika lakshana and also Sthanika lakshana it will shows. Chikitsa means we have to adopt Pittahara measures, and also whatever the Purva karma and Paschat Pradhana karma which has explained under Mahayoni Vyapat we can adopt here. So here also usually this Prasramsini Yoni Vyapat can be correlated with first and second degree uterine prolapse, or milder form of uterine prolapse, Prasramsini. Next coming to Andini or Falini Yoni Vyapat. Falini Yoni Vyapat, Acharya Sushruta have explained Falini Yoni Vyapat under Sannipataja Yoni Vyapat. And according to Acharya Sushruta, Falini Yoni Vyapat means Atikaya Gruhitayas Tarunya Falini Bhavet. It means the explanation of this shloka goes like this: Atikaya Gruhitayas Tarunya Falini Bhavet. That means whenever a young lady copulates with, or whenever a young lady with a small vaginal orifice copulates with a person having a large external genital organ, then it leads to prolapse of the or protuberance of this vaginal wall. That is, so this Andini Yoni Vyapat or Falini Yoni Vyapat can be correlated with vaginal wall prolapse, especially cystocele and rectocele. Acharya Dalhana, the commentator of Sushruta Samhita, he explained it as a Falini. That means a lady who was suffering from... Sorry for interruption. Acharya Dalhana, the commentator of Sushruta Samhita, he explains it as a Falini because a woman who was suffering from this condition, she will not fertile. That means conception is not possible in these cases. So he is considered it as a Falini. A Falini means the woman does not bear a fruit. So she is considered as a Falini, or this condition is said to be a Falini. And Acharya in Madhukosha, Tika and Bhav Prakasha Nigantu, this Yoni Vyapat is referred as Andini Yoni Vyapat because it will protrude like an egg. When it is protruded, it looks like an egg, so it is called as Andini Yoni Vyapat. And as I said, it is correlated with vaginal wall prolapse, especially rectocele and cystocele. So move on to so these are all three main Yoni Vyapat which explained under displaced uterus. That one is Mahayoni Vyapat, Prasramsini Yoni Vyapat, and Falini or Andini Yoni Vyapat. So moving to modern concept, that is genital organ prolapse. As it is one of the commonest condition which we can see in day-to-day gynecological practice. The literally meaning of prolapse means descending forward or descending downwards. Prolapse generally means descending. So अपने जगह से normal जो जगह में होता है उससे नीचे descend आना या forward, that means थोड़ा सामने descend होना. So prolapse means descending forwards or descending downwards of an organ. So usually we will see in a Paris woman, and it is a form of hernia. So we can take it as a prolapse it is a form of hernia. Before going to the topic, we should know about what is the normal position of the uterus. So uterus is a pelvic organ which is situated in between bladder in front and rectum behind. So ऐसे अगर समझो this is the uterus and it is situated between the bladder and behind the rectum. So उसका सामने फ्रंट में यूरिनरी ब्लैडर होता है एंड पीछे की तरफ दैट मीन्स इन अ पोस्टीरियर एस्पेक्ट रेक्टम होता है एंड इट इज प्रेजेंट and it is situated between these two structures and the normal position of the uterus is anteversion and anteflexion. Anteversion means the forward bending of the uterus, and this line, the line of the long axis of the uterus forms an angle of 90 degree with the long axis of the birth canal. So see, if we see the long axis of the uterus, and this is the, consider this is the birth canal, that is the vagina, this is the long axis of the vagina, and it will form an angle of 90 degree. So firmly it forms an angle of 90 degree. So this is the anteverted position of the uterus and this is the normal position of the uterus. And during this time the external os of the cervix, so the lower part is the so uterus का तीन part होता है, one the uppermost, that is the dome shaped structure, is the fundus, and next the body, and the lower part is the cervix. So cervix का exterior part में तो last part is the external os of the cervix. So this external os of the cervix lies between the ischial spine. So if we see the anatomical landmark, so this external os of the cervix lies between the two ischial spines के बीच में a external os situated होता है. So this is the normal position of the uterus, and the uterus is held in this position by most of the supporting structure, that is ligaments and the muscles. So these supporting structure is explained under three tier system. One is upper tier, middle tier and inferior tier system. In upper tier system, the responsible structures are endopelvic fascia and round ligament, and then this one broad ligament with pelvic cellular tissues. So these are the responsible structure in the upper tier system. One is endopelvic fascia, round ligament, and along with broad ligament with the pelvic cellular tissue. And in the middle tier, that means towards the cervix region, it is supported anteriorly with the pubocervical ligament and posteriorly with the uterosacral ligament and laterally with the McEnroth's ligament or cardinal ligament. This is the very important supporting structure of this or the supporting structure to the uterus to held in this normal position. And inferior tier system are urogenital diaphragm and also pelvic floor muscles. Pelvic floor muscles or it is also called as Levitarani muscles. It is a three set of muscles is present in this pelvic floor region. So this forms a inferior tier system. So because of all these supporting structure, with the help of all this supporting structure, the uterus is held in its normal position. So what happens in genital organ prolapse means this entity includes both the vaginal wall prolapse and uterus prolapse. So in this, the main etiological factors behind the genital organ prolapse are one is predisposing factor and aggravating factor. The predisposing factors are weakness. The important cause is weakness of this supporting structures, that is weakness of this ligaments and the muscles leads to genital organ prolapse, and consequent vaginal deliveries, that is repeated vaginal deliveries, is the single most predisposing factor for this weakness of these structures. And injury can be caused by overstretching of these ligaments during the time of labor, and also premature bear down efforts prior to the full dilatation of the cervix. जो क्या होता है, full dilatation of cervix होने के बाद ही second stage of labor में enter करती है lady. So then only, and if at all, if contraction will occurs, then only after full dilatation of cervix the woman have to bear down. Bear down means she has to push downwards, push the fetus downwards. So whenever a lady does bear down efforts or do the bear down efforts prior the full dilatation of the cervix, it leads to weakness of this supporting structure. So this is one of the predisposing factor for this genital organ prolapse, and also prolonged labor during the second stage, and also due to overstretching of the perineum. जो क्या होता है, अगर fetus का head अगर during the time of labor if it is very big और whenever ज़्यादा फोर्स डाल के या पेरिनियम ज़्यादा अगर ओवर स्ट्रेच होगा तो लेबर के टाइम में इट लीड्स टू टॉर्न ऑफ द पेरिनियल बॉडी. पेरिनियल बॉडी इज अ सेंटर पार्ट इन द पेरिनियम, so it leads to overstretching of the perineum. So all these are the predisposing factors for genital organ prolapse, and some aggravating factors are in the case of post-menopausal atrophy. So after menopause, that means whenever lady attains 45 to 50 years of age, so all the genital organs leads to atrophy. Atrophy means decrease in the number of cells and decrease in the size of the tissue. It leads to atrophy of the organs, both the uterus, ovaries, fallopian tubes, and जो भी supporting ligaments जो होता है, so all those structures become atrophied. So this atrophy can leads to again further weakness हो जाता है, and it is act as one of the aggravating factor for the prolapse. And also in the cases of increased intra-abdominal pressure due to COPD, that is chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, and also in the cases of chronic constipation. So बहुत टाइम से अगर जो भी क्रोनिक COPD से अगर सफ़र कर रहे हैं या बहुत टाइम से क्रोनिक कॉन्स्टिपेशन से सफ़र कर रहे हैं, देन इट लीड्स टू इंट्रा abdominal प्रेशर का प्रेशर बढ़ा देता है, और इसके वजह से जो भी सपोर्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर होता है और फिर ज़्यादा ओवर स्ट्रेच होके हो और भी ज़्यादा वीक हो जाता है. सो इसकी वजह से प्रोलैप्स होने का चांसेस ज़्यादा रहता है. देन अगेन मल्टीपल फाइब्रॉइड्स और लार्ज फाइब्रॉइड इन द यूट्रस, एंड इट लीड्स अगर मल्टीपल फाइब्रॉइड्स यूट्रस की तरफ अगर हुआ तो, या बहुत ही लार्ज फाइब्रॉइड दैट इज मोर देन 5 सेंटीमीटर बड़ा वाला फाइब्रॉइड्स हो तो देन इट लीड्स टू ट्रैक्शन जैसे काम करता है, एंड इट डिस्प्लेसेस द यूट्रस फ्रॉम इट्स नॉर्मल पोजीशन. These and also we can see in the cases of malnutrition and also in a obese person, or these are some aggravating factors for genital organ prolapse. Then after etiological factor, we'll move on to the condition that is vaginal wall prolapse and uterine prolapse. As I said, this entity includes both the vaginal wall prolapse and uterus prolapse. Under vaginal wall prolapse, I explained under vaginal wall जो होता है anterior vaginal wall prolapse भी होता है and posterior vaginal wall prolapse भी होता है. So under anterior vaginal wall prolapse, there are two conditions. One is cystocele and second one is urethrocoele. Cystocele means descending of lower 2/3 of the anterior vaginal wall, and urinary bladder herniates through it. जो cystocele में क्या होता है, anterior vaginal wall 2/3 of the anterior vaginal wall prolapse होता है, and उसके साथ साथ urinary bladder herniates through it. And in urethrocoele, lower 1/3 of the anterior vaginal wall will prolapse and urethra herniates through it. So this is urethrocoele. And second one is posterior vaginal wall. So under posterior vaginal wall, there are two conditions. One is relaxed perineum and second one is rectocele. Relaxed perineum means torn perineal body leads to gaping introitus. So क्या होता है, as I said, during the time of labor due to overstretching of the perineum. Perineum is a structure which so external genital organs जो होता है vulval part, एंड उसके नीचे की तरफ एंड लैटरल पार्ट जो होता है, सो ऑल दो स्ट्रक्चर आर सेट आर कॉल्ड एज पेरिनियम. सो उसका ओवर स्ट्रेचिंग होने की वजह से क्या होता है, वेजनल ऑरिफाइस या वेजनल इंट्रोइटस जो होता है उसका गेपिंग ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है. इट इंक्रीजेस द गेपिंग ऑफ vaginal introitus and then it is said to be a relaxed perineum. So usually vagina का constricted होता है, vaginal orifice बहुत ही छोटा होता है and constricted होता है in the cases of nulliparous women में. जो मल्टीपैरस वुमेन में बहुत बार अगर डिलीवरी होके क्या हो जाता है, वेजिनल पार्ट पूरा रिलैक्स हो जाता है एंड वेजिनल ऑरिफाइस भी इसका गेपिंग ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है. So then it leads to relaxed perineum, torn perineal body along with bulging of the posterior vaginal wall. So ऐसे रिलैक्स होने के बाद क्या होता है, पोस्टीरियर वेजिनल वॉल जो होता है वो बल्ज होके बाहर से प्रोट्रूड हो जाता है. सो बल्जिंग और प्रोट्रूडेड पोस्टीरियर वेजिनल वॉल is called as relaxed perineum. And second one is rectocele. Rectocele means descending of posterior vaginal wall and rectum herniates through it. So this is said to be a rectocele. So after this vaginal wall prolapse, we'll move on to uterus prolapse. So uterus prolapse is explained under 3 degrees, first degree, second degree and third degree uterine prolapse. So as I said, normally the uterus is situated in as a pelvic organ and the external os of the cervix lies in between the ischial spines. Two ischial spines के बीच में external os इसका anatomical landmark होता है. So this is the normal position of the uterus and it's said to be no prolapse. And in first degree में क्या होता है, the uterus is descend from its normal position. So समझो this is the uterus. So here दो ischial spine के बीच में रहता है. So this is a normal position of the uterus. So first degree में क्या होता है, the uterus is descended from its normal position but the external os will not protrude or will not come outside the vaginal introitus. So this is the vaginal introitus. So normal position से थोड़ा descend हुआ है लेकिन the external os is not come outside the vaginal introitus. So this is the first degree uterine prolapse. And second degree uterine prolapse में क्या होता है, the external os comes outside the vaginal introitus. The external os जो होता है, so नीचे का part, it will comes outside the vaginal introitus but the body of the uterus remains inside the vagina. ये vagina inside ही रहता है but only the lower part, that is along with the external os, the lower part of the uterus will comes outside the vaginal introitus. This is the second degree uterine prolapse. And in third degree, the whole cervix and body and also fundus, the entire uterus will comes out of the vaginal introitus. So this is the third degree uterine prolapse. So as I said, Mahayoni Vyapat is explained or correlated as third degree uterine prolapse along with relaxed perineum. So relaxed perineum, so जो भी posterior vaginal wall prolapse के तरफ होता है, that is called as relaxed perineum. And next, clinical features, that is the symptoms of uterine prolapse or genital organ prolapse. The main clinical feature, the first commonest or main clinical feature is mass per vaginum, or woman feels like a something coming out of the vagina. So उसको feel होता है vagina से कुछ तो बाहर निकाल के आ रहा है. So this is the main complaint of any lady who is suffering from either second degree or third degree uterine prolapse. She feels like something coming out of the vaginal orifice. And it also causes some discomforts during the time of walking, jogging or coughing के time में ये बहुत ही discomfort करता है. And second one is backache. So backache is generally due to dragging of these supporting structures. सो ओवर स्ट्रेच होके जो लिगामेंट एंड मसल्स ड्रैग होता रहता है, सो एंड इट लीड्स टू सोमैटिक एंड विजरल पेन, जो भी नर्व सप्लाई हुआ रहता है सर्विक्स के थ्रू, सो इट लीड्स टू pain in the lower backache and also in the groin region. And next one is it also leads to dyspareunia, that is difficulty in the cartilage, that as I said shobana dyspareunia karta hai. And also it leads to bloody or frothy and blood stained vaginal discharge will present, and this will be seen in third degree uterine prolapse when it is associated with pressure ulcer, that is decubitus ulcer तब होता है सिर्फ external os की तरफ, तो उससे frothy and blood stained and very offensive kind of vaginal discharge will comes out in this condition. And also it shows some urinary symptoms like increased frequency of micturition or incomplete evacuation, and also it leads to difficulty during micturition whenever it is associated with cystocele. And very important, stress incontinence, that is involuntary emission of the urine during the whenever it will during the time of laughing or coughing, because it increases the intra-abdominal pressure, so it leads to involuntary emission of the urine, so that is called as stress incontinence. So stress incontinence is a very important symptom when it is associated with urethrosil. So if at all any patient will complain of this stress incontinence, maybe it is because of anterior vaginal wall prolapse along with urethrosil. So this is how we can diagnose the patient. Next, it also shows some difficulty during defecation whenever it associated with rectocele. So these are some clinical features of genital organ prolapse. Then how we can manage means in kind of mild degree uterine prolapse, we can ask the patient the patient to do pelvic floor exercises, or also called as Kegel's exercises, because it will increases the, or it will strengthens the pelvic floor muscles. And can also use pessaries as a prosthetic agent. That means we insert some kind of plastic material inside the vagina, and it will prevent the further descent of the uterus. So pessary treatment is one of the and it is not a permanent treatment for uterus prolapse. It is only a temporary method of treatment for the uterus prolapse, because it prevents the further descent of the uterus, but it will not it will not cure the uterine prolapse, only it will prevent the further descent. And next, as a permanent management, we should do surgery only. Surgery is the last option. In the case of cystocele, we can go for anterior colporrhaphy, and in the cases of posterior vaginal wall prolapse, we can go for perineorrhaphy. Or in second degree or third degree uterine prolapse, we should advise the patient to do for vaginal hysterectomy. So this is all about genital organ prolapse, and it is correlated to Mahayoni Vyapat, and also as a secondary uterine prolapse, it is correlated with Prasramsini Yoni Vyapat, first and second degree uterine prolapse, and anterior vaginal wall prolapse along with cystocele and urethrosil, it is correlated with Falini and Falini Yoni or Andini Yoni Vyapat. Next, we'll move on to another topic under displaced uterus, that is Antharmukhi Yoni Vyapat. Antharmukhi Yoni Vyapat, this is explained by Charaka under Vataja Yoni Vyapat, and this clinical entity or this Antharmukhi Yoni Vyapat, it's a clinical entity, which means the uterus is displaced from its normal position, or it will bending backwards from its normal position. So this is the Antharmukhi. It is the word suggests Antharmukha, that means facing inwards of the गर्भाशय मुख. So जो क्या आता है, so as I said, this is the anteverted position of the uterus. So ऐसे condition में क्या होता है, uterus facing, the body of the uterus facing forwards. That means it is lying on the bladder. Bladder के ऊपर ऐसे situated हुआ रहता है. So this is the body and this is the lower part of the uterus. So अंतर्मुखी योनि वापद में क्या होता है, the uterus is bends backwards towards the rectum region, or towards posteriorly it will bend downwards or it will bend backwards. So the nidana of antarmukhi yoni vapad, there are mainly two nidanas. One is practicing intercourse on uneven bed, and also practicing as I said, practicing intercourse on uneven bed, and also during menstrual period. And it leads to following lakshanas. One is vakrayati anana. Vakrayati anana means that is the garbhashaya mukha, and it leads to displacement of this garbhashaya mukha. And second one is sarti mamsa anilartibhi. That means it will cause pain in the groin region and also back region, and sometimes it will also cause pain in the lower abdominal region. And maithuna ashakta. Maithuna ashakta here means difficulty during coital act, that is dyspareunia. And treatment of antarmukhi yoni vapad, as it is explained under Vataja yoni vapad, again we have to adopt some snehana and svedana karma. As a snehana, we can use here sukumara sneha or sukumara gruta or taila, or mishraka sneha can also be used as a snehanartha purpose. And for svedanartha, we can choose any vatahara dravyas along with bhashpa sveda, drava sveda or nadi sveda can be useful. So after this, after performing this purva karma, then we have to again dustitam stapaya, that means repositioning. जो भी backward position में bend करके रहता है उसको normal position में place करके, then we have to give any internal medication to reduce the symptoms. So this is the treatment of antarmukhi yoni vyapad, and it is correlated with retroverted uterus, retroversion of the uterus. So first as I said, the normal position is the anteversion and retroversion is the abnormal position of the uterus. The retroversion of the uterus means whenever the long axis of the uterus is bent backwards to the long axis of the vaginal canal. So consider, so this is the long axis of the uterus and this is the long axis of the birth canal. Birth canal means vagina. So normally क्या होता है, facing forward, that is anteversion, anti that is forward, and here retro means back. Retro songs, that means old, that is backwards. So bending backwards with the long axis of the birth canal. So this is called the retroverted retroversion of the uterus. So here it will forms the angle of more than 180 degree. ऐसे backward bend होने के बाद क्या होता है, so normally it will forms an angle of 90 degree. So normal में जो रहता है it will form an angle of 90 degree. ऐसे bend backward bend हो गया तो it will form an angle of more than 180 degree. And this retroverted again explained under 3 degrees. In first degree, second degree and third degree. First degree में क्या होता है, this is the fundus, this is the uppermost part of the uterus, that is the fundus. जो ऐसे backward bend होने के बाद when in first degree में क्या होता है, this fundus is vertical and pointing towards the sacral promontory. So backward मतलब backward ऐसे bend हो गया तो क्या आता है, so backward position में vertebrae ही आता है. So whenever this fundus is vertical and it is pointed towards the sacral promontory, then it is first degree anteverted uterus. And whenever this fundus lies in the sacral halo, the halo portion of the sacrum, then it is second degree retroverted uterus. And इन थर्ड डिग्री रेट्रोवर्टेड यूट्रस में क्या होता है, द फंडस इज कंप्लीटली बेंड, ऐसे कंप्लीटली बेंड होके एंड इट लाइज एट द लेवल ऑफ द इंटरनल ऑस. सो इंटरनल्स कहाँ होता है, सो यूटरस एंड सर्विक्स के बीच में जो पार्ट होता है वो इंटरनल ऑस होता है. सो इंटरनल ऑस की तरफ पूरा ऐसा बेंड हो जाता है यूटरस. सो दिस इज अ थर्ड ग्रेड ऑफ और थर्ड डिग्री retroverted uterus. So the causes behind this retroverted uterus are, maybe it is due to developmental causes and acquired causes. Developmental causes means during the time of birth only, whenever the supporting structures are very weak during the time of birth, and also it always associated with short vagina. And acquired causes means, so afterwards that means due to the overstretching of the ligaments during the time of delivery, or due to repeated vaginal deliveries, and also due to large fibroids or multiple fibroids, and also due to prolapse of the uterus. and जो अभी ऐसे prolapse हुआ तो क्या हो जाता है, यूट्रस ऐसे prolapse हो गया तो it will give traction. so traction करके ऐसे bend for backward में bend हो जाता है uterus. so prolapse of the uterus and multiple fibroids and also pelvic adhesions are the main causes in a acquired causes for retroversion of the uterus. And the clinical features of retroverted uterus are mainly premenstrual pelvic pain. Premenstrual pelvic pain, that means the lady suffers from very much pelvic pain, that is backache and also lower abdomen pain premenstrually. This is because of congestion in the or varicosity in the broad ligament, and it also leads to backache and dyspareunia, that is difficulty during coital act, and also it leads to infertility also. So retroverted uterus can also cause infertility in the woman, but only this in the third degree retroverted uterus status only we can see this infertility condition. because क्या होता है, ऐसे पूरा uterus अगर bend हो गया तो then the external os of the cervix moves far away from the vaginal pool. सो वेजनल नॉर्मली क्या होता है, ऐसे अगर एंटीवर्टेड पोजीशन में है तो रेट्रो एक्सटर्नल ऑस वो वेजनल पूल के तरफ में अटैच हुआ रहता है, दैट मीन्स वो पास रहता है. सो ऐसे बैकवर्ड ऐसे बेंड हो गया तो दिस एक्सटर्नल ऑस विल go far away from the vaginal pool. So that means the sperm cannot reach the uterus. So in the cases of third degree uterine prolapse, infertility can be occur. And after clinical features, then treatment or management of retroverted uterus means in mild form, or in that means in a first degree retroverted uterus we can advise for as a supporting we can advise pelvic floor exercises to support the pelvic floor muscles. And in the cases of severe kind of retroverted uterus we have to do surgery, that is ventral suspension of the uterus by doing by plicating the round ligaments bilaterally. So bilaterally दोनों तरफ राउंड लिगामेंट जो होता है उसको प्लिकेट करके वेंट्रल सस्पेंशन कर देते हैं. दिस इज सर्जिकल प्रोसीजर एंड बाय दिस द यूट्रस इज पुल फॉरवर्ड्स. सो जो भी ऐसे बेंड बैकवर्ड बेंड हुआ रहता है, so because of this ventral suspension and plicating of the bilateral round ligament, the uterus is pulled forwards and it will comes to the normal position. So this is the surgical correction of retroverted uterus. So by this I will complete this session. So to revise, I explained about I'm explaining about displaced uterus. Under displaced uterus I have explained mainly four yoni vyapaths, that is Mahayoni and Prasramsini yoni vyapath, and third one is Falini yoni vyapath, and fourth one is Antharmukhi yoni vyapath. And this Mahayoni and Falini and Prasramsini yoni vyapath comes under genital organ prolapse, and Antharmukhi yoni vyapath is taken as retroverted uterus. So theoretically it is very important, and practically also I have told some yogas to how to prescribe for whenever a lady suffering from any kind of either Prasramsini Yoni Vyapad or Antharmukhi Yoni Vyapad. But what happens if, because it is a anatomical defect, so if at all if it is causing a severe kind of symptoms, or if it is affecting the lady severely, then we have to go for surgical correction only. So in the cases of third degree uterine prolapse, or in the case of precedentia, and in the cases of retroverted uterus, we can't give any medicine internally. जो भी मेडिसिन देके ऐसे पूरा anatomical structures को correct करने के लिए नहीं होता, then we have to do surgical correction only. That means either by doing vaginal hysterectomy, or any kind of anterior colporrhaphy or perineophraphy, or sometimes ventral suspension in the case of retroverted uterus. So if you got any doubts, please leave the comments in the comment section. I will try to explain your doubts. So I would like to thank all the organizers of Tadvidya Sambhashya Parishad. I would like to conclude my topic. Thank you one and all.